And we're back doing Code Katas. I believe that the one we are on is Needle in the Haystack. So what it wants us to do is says, can you find the needle in the haystack? It wants us to write a function that takes an array full of junk, but it contains one needle. So we have an array full of all random words, but one word will always be needle. After your function finds the needle, it should return the message as a string that says found the needle at position plus the index of the needle. So we're gonna have to find out what index needle is at in the different arrays that it gives us. So let's go ahead and do it. Bring in our title. Let's grab our function. And let's grab our test. Cool. So we need to turn these into console.logs and start up Quokka. Okay, so these are our arrays, the different arrays that we're testing against. Let's go ahead and bring down our function so we can see our output. So right now we're getting undefined returns because our code's not doing anything, but eventually we want it to return found the needle at position and then whatever index needle is at. So I think this one's gonna be pretty easy. All we really need to do is return backticks, and we want to say, what is it? Found the needle at position, and then we want to have our $sign, curly brackets, and we want to return our haystack, which is our array, dot index of, we have a built-in method called index of, and it will find the index of whatever is passed into it. So we want to pass in the word needle, and it should work. Let's see, found the needle at position 3, found the needle at position 3, found the needle at position 5, found the needle at position 5, so it works. So simple as that. Let's go ahead and throw it in, see if it works. Let's test it. Passed. Let's attempt it. All 28 tests passed. So let's go ahead and submit and look at everybody else's answer. Okay, so we can see that they did a concatenation here. Same thing pretty much. This is what we did, index of. They got crazy with it. Wow. Okay, cool. Let's move on to the next one. Sort the odd. Okay, so we have an array of numbers. Our task is to sort the ascending odd numbers, but even numbers must remain in their places. 0 isn't an odd number, you don't need to move it. If you have an empty array, you need to return the empty array. So I think what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to sort out the odd numbers first. Let's go ahead and get it opened up so we can play with it. Okay, let's go ahead and save this one that we just did and get rid of it. Let's bring in our title. We'll grab our test. Okay. We'll change these to console.logs. And we will start up Quokka. Okay, so I think what we're going to want to do first, we're going to want to get our odd numbers. So let's go ahead and we'll say const odd, and that'll equal our array. We want to take our array and we want to filter it, and we'll take our number, and if our number remainder 2 and then we want to sort it, and we'll take in A and B, and we'll say A minus B. Let's log odd and see what we got. Okay, so we're just getting our odd numbers and we're sorting them. Okay, so then what we want to do is we want to return our array and we want to map over it, and that will take in number as well. And what we want to do is we want to say if our number remainder 2, then we want to pass in our odd number. So we'll say odd dot shift like that, and if not, then we just want to return our number like that, and that should do it. Let's see, 132854, 132854, so it works. Cool. So let's put it into Code Wars. Let's test it out. Okay, our test passed. Let's attempt it with our random test, and they all pass. Very cool. So let's submit it, see what everybody else did. Okay, so it looks like they did it the exact same way. Filtered out the odds, mapped over the array, put in the odd when need be. If not, return the number that was there. Cool. Let's do the next one. Delete occurrences of an element if it occurs more than n times. Alice and Bob they always give these long stories. Alice and Bob were on a holiday. Both of them took many pictures of the places they've been. They want to show their entire collection. However, Charlie doesn't like these sessions since the motive usually repeats. He isn't fond of seeing the Eiffel Tower 40 times. He tells them he will only sit during the session if they show the same motive n times. Cool. So our task is given a list of numbers and a number n. Create a new list that contains each number only n times without reordering. So if n is equal to 2, and this is our input, we'll take 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and drop the last 1, 2. So we're getting an array, and we're given a number, and we only want to return each individual number this many times in the array. So we have 4 1s right here. Our number that we're given is 2, so we're only going to return 2 1s. In this array, there's 2 20s, but since our number is 1 that we're given, we only return 1 of them. So let's go ahead and bring it down locally. Okay. Let's go ahead and save this one. Last one we did, and get rid of it. Let's bring in our title here. Let's train again. We have our function. Grab our test. Change these to console logs, start up Quokka. We'll go ahead and bring down our functions like that. So we're getting undefined return, that's good. And this is our output that we ultimately want. So what we're gonna wanna do, we need to keep track of how many times each number occurs in the array. And then, what? And then we want to only return each number the certain amount of times. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to build up an object. So we'll say const repeated, and we'll let it equal empty object. And then we want to return our array dot filter, and we want to pass in num. And then so we're gonna look at each individual number, and if repeated num, if I can spell correctly. Okay, we want that repeated num to equal either repeated num if it hasn't occurred, or we want 0, and then we want to say plus 1. And then we want to have we want to say const repetitions and we want that to equal repeated num. And then all we need to do is if oh my god. Then if all we need to do is we need to return our repetitions that are less than or equal to n. And that should work. And it does. 20, 37, 21, 20, 37, 21. So we're comparing it against the number that's being passed in, and we're only returning it that amount of times. So cool. So let's pass it into Code Wars. Let's test it. Passed. Let's attempt it. Cool. So it works. Let's submit it. Okay. So, yep, exact same way we did it. Did it the same way here. Very cool. Okay. Let's count the smiley faces. Given an array as an argument, let's complete the function count smileys that should return the total number of smiling faces. Rules for a smiling face. Each smiley face must contain a valid pair of eyes. Eyes can be marked as these. It must contain valid noses, which are these, and it must contain a valid smile, which is this. No additional characters are allowed except for these mentioned. So if we check it out here, and it wants us to return the number of valid smiling faces. So we're given an array of these kind of little smiley faces, and we're supposed to return the ones that are valid. Okay. Save the one we just did, get rid of it, bring in our title. Let's grab our test. And I think we're gonna have to use regex with this one. So now we're getting undefined return, which is good. Our code's not doing anything. What we're going to want to do is we're going to want to filter our array that we're given, and we're going to have to match it to our valid characters that we can use that make up our smiley face. And then I think we will return the length of the valid ones. So let's go ahead and return our array dot filter, and we will call our little characters, we'll call them items, and we need to match it. So regex starts in there like this, and then to match all, we'll need our arrow. And then we want to match our, let's take a look at our, what's our valid eyes? Okay, so we'll match it against that. We'll say either this or, where's the other character we're looking for? Or this, I mean. Okay. And then for our noses, what do we do? A dash or a little tilde? So we'll say dash or tilde like that. And then for our mouth, what's our mouths? Either a smiley face or a, what is that, a D? So it'll be, there we go, and a capital D, I think. Okay. And then all we need to do, we're also going to want to put our curly braces, and we want to match it like this. And we want to say, we want a dollar sign here. And we'll say dot, and we want to test it against each item that we're bringing in. And then we want to say dot length. What are we missing? Are we missing this space right here, maybe? There we go. We didn't want a space there. So now we're getting the correct number of smiley faces returned. Let's test it out, see if it works. Cool. Let's attempt it. Nice. Let's submit it. Okay. So it's the exact way we did it. They created all the valid possible faces. They created a count. They looped through the array. If it matches, they did the count. They incremented the count, and then at the end, they just returned the count. So that's cool. Okay, let's do one more maybe. Convert number to reversed array of digits. So given a random non-negative number, you have to return the digits of this number within an array in reverse order. So we're given a number. We need to put the numbers in the array and reverse them. Okay. Oh no, it's not what we wanted to do. Let's grab our function. Grab our test. Okay, so we're getting undefined returns. Ultimately, we want our number returned as an array with the numbers in reverse order. So what we're going to want to do, we're going to want to return, we need to turn our number into a string. So we'll do it like this. We'll say string, and what do we pass in? Num. What's our value? Oh, just n. N. So that's our n is our number, so we're getting it returned as a string now instead of a number. And next thing we want to do is we want to split it like that, right? And then we want to say then we want to reverse it. So now we're getting when we split it, now we have it in an array, but we need to turn each each number is a string right now. We need to turn them back to numbers. So what we're going to do is we're going to say dot map. So that'll look, now we'll look at each individual element and we'll change it into a number. So now you can see they're back as numbers, but now we need to reverse it. So we'll say dot reverse, and that should work. 13253, 13253. Cool. We could even, this is a pretty short one, so we could even do it like this. We could say const digitize, and then we'll pass in our in. And then we can just do the same thing here. We can have it as one line. And that should work too. Yep. So we'll use this one. Let's test it out. Let's attempt it. Very cool. Let's submit. Split map, so they did it the same way we did. They changed their number into a string just by concatenating it with the empty string. Array.from. Okay, very cool. All right, so I guess that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Peace.